look good, they sound great. We'll see how they race. On pole position, number 10, Lance Carey. Alongside him is 58, Tom Fisher. Those two Michelin Young Guns. Then we have number 15, Mark Cheetham, the first of the TDG Cup runners, the competition for the over 25s, and then back to another young gun, Josh Wainwright on 55 on the outside of that front row. Second row, well, Toby Glenn, Glyn Davis, Ricky Chadwick, and qualifying fifth fastest, number 96, Jack Sim there. But down to business, flag marshal out of the way, red lights on and off, and what a start from Lance Carey outside of that front row, and charging down towards Paddock Bend. Jack Sim looking as though he got a good start there as well, and Ralph Turco's not too far back. He's in, let's see, around about fourth position as they run up into Druids, but look at Jack Sim trying to hang it on right round the outside, but that's not going to impress Lance Carey much. Lance, well, nearly loses it on Graham Hill Bend, but Jack has to stand on the anchors just to get it stopped in time. See if he tries the inside. He will, but he's not going to get it. And look at that, Jack Sim. I mentioned this before, but if you hug the inside all the way up through Surtees, you will lose places. And Lance Carey it is that leads. Mark Cheetham briefly getting up into second, but Jack Sim on the power as they come down under the Johnny Herbert Bridge up towards Hawthorns, regains second place, and Ralph Turco all over the case of Mark Cheetham at the moment, and Josh Wainwright tucked in behind in fifth place. As this huge field of tribes, and Tony Scott's absolutely right, they sound absolutely glorious, the sound reverberating in the woods here out the back of the Grand Prix loop at Brands Hatch. And Lance Carey having set a very good pole position indeed, determined to lead away from there, which he does under the bridge for the first time at the medical centre, and out onto Clearways, Clark Curve and the Brabham Straights. A lot of great races commemorated in the corners and straights here at Brands. And joining them, well, Lance Carey from Jack Sim and Mark Cheetham. Down through Paddock Bend they plunge, and just the most brilliant opportunity this weekend for these racers who race regularly on club racing programs to be in front of this enormous crowd at British Superbike at Brands Hatch, all courtesy of a bit of snow. The BSB meeting, of course, snowed off a few weeks back, and this date anyway was going to be the Bemsey and MRO Club weekend, so the two have been amalgamated, and it means that these Triumph riders race in front of the biggest crowd they're going to see this year. And Lance Carey responding to that, and Jack Sim, good second position. Look at Ralph Turco there under pressure as they come up into Hawthorns, and it looks like Josh Wainwright, it is Josh that is putting Ralph Turco under pressure, and just tucked in behind them, Mark Kringle, the young rider from the Isle of Man, with the three leaders. A little bit of a breakaway at the front, coming up through Sheen Curve, and Ralph Turco then heading that pack. But look at him, closing right up at the front. Lance Carey had a little bit of a lead, and Jack Sim and Mark Cheetham really hunting him down in the battle for the TDG Cup. Jack and Mark, the leading runners in this race for the competition for the over 25 riders. But look at Lance Carey, head down. This is a brilliant performance by him. It was a good pole, as I mentioned, but the TDG Cup guys were catching him, and now he's put a bit of a gap on him out the front. And well, this really is what he's got to do now, head down and concentrate, not worry about what's going on behind, just try and keep the lines, keep the speed up, and let them fight over themselves. There's a wonderful battle going on for fourth, fifth and sixth, and we can see that Ralph Turco is in the mix with Josh Wainwright, but they've been caught. It looks as though it could be Glyn Davis that's got up there with them, but meanwhile the leaders up onto that Grand Prix loop, up that sharp hill, and then it's full blast, turn on the taps underneath the bridge, and heading down once again for that fastest part of the circuit up into the entry into Hawthorns. And Mark Cheetham he's having a lovely time, isn't he? You could tell he's thoroughly enjoying this race. Jack Sim is off the bike to the left, to the right, every which way, trying desperately to hang on to that second place. But Mark Cheetham is, he just looks very comfortable, as though he's having a thoroughly good time chasing hard after Jack, and the three of them down into Stirling's. Jack Sim is one of the taller riders, and you can certainly see it shows. He's all limbs as he gets off that bike to get round the corners. Look at that knee, absolutely not just down, but virtually his entire leg lying on the track there at Clearways. Cheatham's got a good line. Has he got the exit speed from Clearways this time? Now ducking down underneath that Paddock Hill bend, and Jack Sim, out goes the knee and the elbow, but he can't repel borders. Mark Cheatham beautifully and smoothly through into second place. Runs a little wide on the exit of Paddock, but Jack Sim does the same, so those positions are now altered. Well, Lance Carey, a comfortable lead at the moment. Mark Cheatham, the cork is out the bottle. Can he now? Yes, and Lance Carey looks over his shoulder, and he'll see that now it's not the yellow of Jack Sim, it's the red of Mark Cheatham that's in second place. Can Mark Cheatham get his head down and really buckle down to the chase and put pressure on Lance Carey? Well, I have to say at the moment it looks as though he can. He's got himself a little bit of a gap already, and there we see the battle behind them, and that's our man from the Isle of Man, Mark Kringle, and goodness me, Stuart Mitchell. Stuart, who started right at the back of the grid, and he's worked his way all the way through the field up into fifth. But Lance Carey, now this battle at the front is all about the gap, and well, I think certainly visually, I'm going to have to wait till they get round to the start-finish line to check the clocks, but you'd say Mark Cheatham was definitely closing on Lance Carey. Out of the shadows under the bridge they come to complete another lap around Clearways and Clark Curve. And look at those huge crowds watching the action, absolutely enthralled by this Triumph Triple Challenge. And I tell you what, the riders will be enthralled as well. They will be fully aware that they're riding in front of the biggest crowd they've had the opportunity to entertain in their lives. And that's a superb battle once again for fourth and fifth between Stuart Mitchell and Mark Kringle. Right on the front, Lance Carey. Oh, that's definitely shrunk. And in fact, Mark Cheatham has put in the fastest lap of the race so far, and he is very much quicker over that last lap than Lance Carey, so we could be on for another head-to-head at the front of this before long. Up the hill they run. There, oh, glorious sight. Heads down and absolutely full on it, running down the long straight towards Hawthorns. And Lance Carey, well, he won't. There aren't many places you can stick your head over your shoulder and have a look behind on this circuit, but that would have been one of them. He'll be aware that Mark Cheatham has closed right up with him. Through Dingledale they run, up through Sheen Curve, and Mark Cheatham is really on the gas down towards Stirling's. So Lance Carey is still in the lead, but only just from Mark Cheatham.